Welcome everyone. This is our MRS21 Fall 2021 midterm review. Video number one, going over our questions. We have 25 of them, so I'm going to try to get as many as I can in this first video. So yeah, if you have questions, leave them in the comment section below. So I'm going to try to explain the best I can to help understand what's going on. And what steps you have to take, right? So the very first question we have here is find the sum and product of the roots for the equation 7x squared equals 3x minus 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite the equation so that the equation is set equal to 0. Now I like honestly to have the 7x squared positive, so we're gonna subtract 3x on both sides and add 2 on both sides. That gives us 7x squared minus 3x plus 2 equals 0. It's always the first step, right? Our first step is going to be set the equation equals 0. Our next step is we need to find our A and B and C values. Now you might, again, forgotten A, B, and C. A is the number multiplying x squared. So that number is 7. B is the number multiplying negative 3, or so, sorry, multiplying x, which is negative 3. And C is number, just like a number by itself, the constant. So that's 2. So once we find these values, we use our formula for the sum of the roots. So the sum of roots, which is negative b over a, we just kind of fill in our formula here, which is just negative 3 over a, which is 7. So we have the sum is 3/7. Since multiple choice, we look at it going, okay, well the sum is 3/7. It can't be choice B, and it can't be choice D. Now the product of the roots is C over A. And so the product of the roots in this case is going to be, the C over A is C, which now is 2, and A is 7. So we get 2 over 7. Now, the sum of 3/7 and the product of 2 over 7 is, in this case, going to be choice C. And that's our answer for number 1. Okay? Find the smallest integer value of k. So this equation has imaginary roots. Okay. So with imaginary roots, when we're talking about the nature of the roots, imaginary, real, rational, irrational, we're going to be using the discriminant. So discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. It's that number underneath the radical. And it kind of makes sense because what type of number underneath the radical will tell us what type of roots we have. So we take a look and take a look at a value, our b value, and our c value. And so our a value is 1x squared, so it's 1. Our b value is negative 5. Now the confusing part is the c value. The c value is the letter k, not 1, but k. Sometimes students are like, oh, let's put 1 there. No, we don't know what the number is. So we have to figure it out. We're going to plug in the A value, the B value, and the C value into our discriminant. By the way, for imaginary roots, this discriminant has to be less than 0. Okay? So our inequality is negative 5 squared minus 4 times 1 times k must be less than 0. So we have 25 minus 4k is less than 0. At this point, we don't need to solve for k. We can start plugging our choices. But remember, though, we're looking for the smallest integer value. Well, we see here, we plug in 5. 25 minus 4 times 5 is 20, is, well, not less than 0. Okay? So it can't be that one. And then we try 6. 25 minus 4 times 6 is 24. That's 1, not less than 0. Well, that's no good either. We try 7. 25 minus 28, less than 0. That works as well. Now, if we want to try 8, 25 minus 32. That's less than 0. But so 25 minus 32 gives us, I believe, negative 7. Well, 25 minus 28 gives you negative 3. So even though 8 does work out, it's not the smallest value. So we have to choose the smallest one, which is choice B, 7. Okay? So you got to read the question very carefully. Keep in mind, when we have imaginary roots, our discriminant must be less than 0. If they're real, the roots are real, they must be greater than or equal to 0. What is the remainder when 5x to the fourth minus 2x squared plus 18x minus 25 is divided by x plus 3? Well, we are going to use what's called the remainder theorem. We could do long division, we could do synthetic division, but what is easiest to do is use our remainder theorem. Our remainder theorem means the following. We're first going to set this factor equal to 0. So x plus 3 equals 0. Let's subtract 3 on both sides. We get x equal to negative 3. For the remainder theorem, what we want to do is if this numbers are roots, we plug it into our expression. If we get 0, then yes, it qualifies as a root, because a root is a value of x that makes the equation equal 0. So the equation equals 0. Now, if it's not equal to 0, then whatever number we get will be the remainder when we divide by the factor x plus 3. So we're just going to plug into our formula here of negative 3 for x. So 5 times negative 3 to the fourth minus 2 times negative 3 squared plus 18 times negative 3 minus 25. And if you use a graphing calculator, you can just kind of plug this in. Well, negative 3 to the fourth power is going to be 81. And you multiply 5 times 81, that gives you 405. Negative 3 squared is 9. Positive 9 times 2 is minus 18. Negative 3 times 18 is going to be, I believe, negative 54 minus 25. So what happens is I like to add up all the negative numbers here. So we have 18, 54, 25. Add them up. 12 plus 5 is 17. Carry the 1. 1, 2, 4, 9, 92. So it's subtracting 92. Okay. Sorry. 17. So 97. I'm sorry. Not 92. 97. Oops. All right. Just want to double check make sure. Minus 97. Right? Don't make mistakes, you guys know. So, all right. So 405 minus 97 is the same as subtracting by 100 and then adding 3. So 405 minus 100 is 305 plus 3 is 308. Or you can just use a calculator, of course, which leads to our answer of choice A. Okay. All right. Number 4. What are the roots for the quadratic function f of x equals x squared plus 2x plus 17? Well, here we're going to, to find the roots, we want to set the equation equal to 0. And I do not think I can factor this because I can't find two numbers that multiply 17 and add to 2. So we'll use our quadratic formula. Our quadratic formula is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. This whole thing over 2a. And if you're not familiar with the quadratic formula, you really want to keep practicing with it also. So here, we're plugging in our values. Now, our a value is 1. Our b value is 2, and our c value is 17. Hopefully at this point, with doing the problems, we can identify a, b, and c very quickly. And we're just plugging in now. X is equal to negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times 17 all over 2 times 1. Now, the discriminant in this case, this number underneath the radical, is we get 4 minus 4 times 17 is 68. So we're going to get, in this case, negative 68. 4 minus 68 is going to be negative 64. So we get x is equal to negative 2 plus or minus the square root of negative 64. Oh, not 21. That's 2 times 1 over 2. Okay. Now, square negative 64. Put the side here in green. square root of negative 64 can be simplified as square root of -1 times square root of 64. Always pull out that square root of -1 first, because that value of square root of -1 we know is I, and square root of 64 is just 8. So x is equal to -2 plus or minus 8I over 2. But we can simplify further because we can divide everything by 2, which means x is equal to -1, because 2 divided by -2 is -1, and then 8 divided by 8I divided by 2 is 4I, so plus or minus 4I. So our answer for number 4 is choice B. But the key thing is to remember the quadratic formula, right? And knowing how to plug in and simplify. All right. Question number 5 we see here is, what is the value of k when p of x equals 2x squared minus kx plus 5 if the axis of symmetry is x equals -4? So for axis symmetry, we should know is a formula x equals, don't forget the x, equals -b over 2a. And so again, we're going to find our a, b, and c values. In this situation, a equals 2, b equals -k, and c equals 5. Say, well, why is it -k? Because we're using a format of ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, and so we plug in, and so we get. Now we also know -4. That's a very important thing here. So we have -4 equals negative of -k over 2 times 2. -1 times -k is positive k. 2 times 2 is 4, equals -4. I'll write -4 over 1, so that to get k by itself, since k is being divided by 4, we want to multiply both sides by 4. And that leaves with k is equal to -16, which is choice D. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the end of our first video for our MRS21 Fall 2021 Midterm Review, video 1, part 1 in this case, because we did the first 5 questions. And I hope that you guys are finding this helpful. If you find it helpful, please give a like. Let me know if it's helping out and all. I should do these more, or I should do more videos on other things too. I want to be helpful to you guys now. And if you did find it helpful, if you watched the end, please just give this video a like. Totally appreciate it and all. All right, everybody. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Please do so. All right. I'll see you guys in the next video. Everyone, take care. Be safe.